Hi, welcome back to Madden 07. Today, second half, Lions against Vikings. I think this is week 5. Hopefully we can pull out a victory here. Tie game. I like our chances though. As long as I play smarter. At the end of the first half, I wasn't super smart in that I attempted to go for it on 4th and 17, which you should never do unless you're absolutely desperate. There was that famous play where the Ravens converted on 4th and 28. Those late aughts, early 10s Ravens were really awesome. Some of my favorite players were on those teams. Joe Flacco, take him for whatever he is, in 2012, 2013, claiming that he's the greatest quarterback in the NFL was quite a bit of a stretch, but he's been consistently decent. But then you had your big defensive guys. That's what I really liked about the Ravens. They were a tough team. Sorry, I blanked there. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, I got him on my team here. Haloti Ngata's pretty cool. Terrell Suggs I always liked. Awesome. 4th down. Let's get this punt. And then the year before they went to the Super Bowl in 2013, I think it was the year before, my absolute favorite football player ever, Ricky Williams, was on their team, which was awesome. Because I love Ricky Williams, and he was pretty decent for him. He wasn't their starter. Wife beater Ray Rice was their starter, but Ricky Williams, he was pretty solid. At the end of his career, he really fell into that role of a nice, about 3 yards per carry backup. So, I feel like he was underappreciated at the end of his career. If you've never seen the 30 for 30 documentary about Ricky Williams, you should go check it out if you're interested in football, because it really shows. That was a bad throw. It really shows an amazing story, right? Ricky Williams has a very intriguing story. It's one of the few things that I will say is a true human odyssey. Not a good throw. In that he fell from grace and had to go on this journey of kind of self-discovery to be able to accept himself and have the world accept him in return. I'm just going to kick a field goal here because I don't trust myself. I don't know. I feel like people were a little hard on Ricky Williams. I get the popular consensus was that, quitting football to what people would say is smoke, just to go smoke weed, is not the right thing to do, because so many people would kill to be in the position that Ricky Williams was in the early 2000s. But he had so much pressure in his life, right? Oh my gosh. And from a very early age, because of his childhood, and what the documentary Run Ricky Run talks about, is that he internalized a lot of feelings, and anything that happened in his life, he internalized it. So when he reached the NFL, and there was all of this pressure to be the best, and getting blamed for the Saints' mistakes in the late 90s, and in 2002, I think he carried the ball on 78. He had 78% of Miami's yards that season, or something like that. Something crazy stat that he should not have carried the ball as much as he did. And when the Dolphins weren't super successful, then it really got to him, because these people started hating him, and whatever they want to do, hate him, but he internalized that feeling because of so much pressure in his life. He started to blame himself for it all. He really took it to heart. It took huge hits on his psychology, and he needed to take a break. So that's why he retired in the middle of his career. but he came back better than ever. You know, after he left for a few years, he went on self-discovery, and he, in 2010, I believe, Ronnie Brown was the starter in Miami. Ricky Williams filled in for Ronnie Brown when he got injured, and had a 1,000-yard rushing season. And he was like 31, hadn't played football in the starter's position for like 6 years. And it's really fantastic. He's a nice guy. He has a PhD now, I think. You know, however you feel about holistic medicine or whatever, but Ricky Williams is a really cool guy and really interesting story. You should check it out. I kind of cut a lot of details because it's hard for me to remember every single thing, but it's just, he's such an interesting story. No, man. That was a deep pass they got on us. Anyway, we're not looking too hot right now. They're about to get a lead on us. I don't want to lose to the Vikings. I don't like the Vikings. NFC North rivals. I don't, you know, last season I think they gave Case Keenum a little too much credit for their success last season. They had a really good defense and a really solid team overall. I think Case Keenum was serviceable enough to be able to not guide the team to victory, but oh man, that sucks. Hold on, I have to pause the episode just 1 second. Sorry about that. Hi, sorry about that. There was somebody at my door, so I had to pause the episode. That's the kind of professionalism you get here at Kick of Doom. While I was gone, I got a delay game penalty, so hopefully we can make up for it on this awesome pass that I'm gonna throw to Keyshawn Johnson. Yes, we did get it. Awesome. So we're already marching down the field. 45-yard line, not special teams, single back. Short passes, that's the way of the future. Just like jackfruit. Jackfruit is the food of the future. Jackfruit is... Oh, I don't know if you ever had it before, but jackfruit is this huge fruit that grows in Southern Asia. It's the official fruit of... Or it's the staple crop of Bangladesh. Excuse me. It grows on trees in fruits that can get up to like 10 pounds each. The fruits don't require a whole lot of water to survive. The trees, I should say. And unlike most fruits... whoa, that was bad. Oh, awesome. We get to redo third down. Unlike most fruits, jackfruit has protein in it. So, culinarily, jackfruit actually can function as a meat. So it can replace chicken, beef, things like that, culinarily. As well as culinarily being a fruit. It's flexible, culinarily speaking. So, hearing that, you know, I always say jackfruit is the fruit of the future. Because it doesn't need a lot of water to grow, it can grow a lot of food at once. Especially with a growing population in areas that have high populations but not a lot of water. Particularly like Saharan Africa, China, India, places like that, which India and Bangladesh, they grow jackfruit. There's a lot of agriculture that goes on in those places, but the agriculture that goes on there is reaped by the global north, as it's called. So there's this kind of... Oh my god, that was the end of the game? Oh my gosh, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, that's embarrassing. I was just marching down the field. I thought that was the end of the third quarter we were coming up to. Oh, that's depressing. Oh, wow. Sorry about that. Anyway, jackfruit, you know, instinctively think, you know, that could really help places out like that are being in this kind of agricultural imperialism kind of state we're in right now. But next week we have the Bills. Let's sim everything up to here. But I think, like, if it were to become popular, I worry that places in the global north, or the west as it's called, would kind of begin to ruin it, right? Because yeah, we want to play it. Would kind of ruin it, because like quinoa is something that's become really popular in the last couple of years in America particularly, but it's ruined some of the agricultural economy of smaller farms in Central and South America because they can't afford their own staple crop now. So I worry that would happen to jackfruit if it become popular, and that it would ruin, on a global supply chain level, a lot of smaller farms and a lot of the health and lives of people in Southern Asia, particularly in Bangladesh, which is going to be facing some of the most brunt of global climate change as a country of about 1 billion people that's almost all below sea level. So, anyway, that got kind of heavy for football. We lost to the Vikings, which sucks. We're 2-3 now, back to below 500. But let's get this coin toss. It looks like we are receiving the kick, which is awesome. And next time, we'll pick it up right here and start the game against the Bills. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hope to see you again soon.